Now that we have a better understanding of the parameters related to stake pools, let's take a closer look into what type of rewards we can expect to earn over time for delegating our ADA. In this lesson, we'll cover the official Cardano staking calculator and how to set the parameters to estimate rewards. So we're taking a look at the computer, and pulled up I have cardano.org/calculator. This is going to be the official website for the Cardano staking calculator. This is more or less something that you should take just as an estimate. It's not going to be exact, of course, but it should give you a rough idea of what you can expect to earn in terms of rewards for delegating your ADA. So what we have here, we've got two different options. We can choose either delegate our stake or run a stake pool. First, let's go ahead and take a look at delegate my stake. We've got some pretty simple parameters to choose from here. It's just a matter of entering the amount of ADA which you would like to delegate to a pool. Let's say you have 1,000 ADA, and we can see a chart which will give us a rewards breakdown. The number of epochs you'll get paid each epoch. Of course, remembering that when you first delegate to a pool, it takes 2 epochs for your stake to become active, and then you start earning rewards after the third and every one following. So you'll hover over it and you can see about 0.7 ADA, and then that gradually decreases over time. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to set a goal for yourself and you decide, well, how much do I need in order to live off of my passive income? I know a lot of people have some different strategies in terms of what they want to do with their passive ADA rewards. Let's say, for instance, you want to just set a certain amount in terms of what your initial purchase is, and then you just want to let the compounding interest take effect and then have a goal for your target amount over time. You can definitely use the staking calculator for something like that as well. In this case, we can just adjust this number to see what we can expect to earn over time. It'll show us, if we scroll to the bottom, a yearly total for that amount which we would delegate, and then that percentage for the delegation rewards. So the stake pool calculator, definitely a pretty interesting tool. If we click on advanced options, this gives us a few more parameters to take a look at. So very briefly going over each one of these different parameters, we can see the ADA amount. The currency also is the same. We can enter in an amount in ADA. We can also choose the currency which we're using this calculator for. Of course, this is the ADA staking calculator. The stake pool daily fixed fee. This ties into that minimum fixed cost which we learned about in the stake pool parameters lesson, with 340 ADA being the minimum fixed cost currently for stake pools. 68 is going to be a daily fixed fee. So 68 times 5, there's 5 days in one epoch, equals 340 ADA. So the average transaction fees per epoch, this is going to vary more or less. What I like to do is just add an extra 0 every year, every couple years as we've progressed through Cardano. What this means is basically the amount of ADA which is paid in fees every epoch, and this would increase as the total number of users and the total volume of transactions increases over time. So this is something you can play around with. Of course, there is websites that'll give you this information. Currently, I think ADA Pools has a bot, Telegram bot, which is very useful, which can show you something like this. And then you've also got the stake pool operator stake. This is going to be the A0 parameter or pledge. So let's say, for instance, you've got a stake pool operator who has put up 50,000 ADA. Somebody like myself, for each of our stake pools, we've got 50,000 ADA of my personal capital delegated to each of our pools. Next is going to be the saturation. So this is the K parameter. The pool saturation we can see is adjusted based on the total number of stake pools. Currently, K is set to 500 stake pools. And with that, we can see the pool saturation is 64 million ADA, or just slightly above 64 million. If we were to increase this number, let's say just like maybe 0.3, we can see that the stake pool has crossed above that saturation threshold. Now we can see this number is red, 93 million ADA, putting it well above that saturation level. In the future, the community as well as IOG has been considering adjustments to these various stake pool parameters. So what you can do in that instance for something like K, for example, right now K is set to 500, but in the future they're talking about an increase to 1,000. What's currently being debated is whether it is a slow, gradual increase or if it's a sudden increase in terms of the total number of stake pools. What that would do is thus cut the pool saturation in half to 32 million. So we'll just adjust this. Let's say this is a fully saturated pool when K equals 1,000. But currently we're at K equals 500, and we'll just say maybe the pool has about 30 million ADA. That's fairly conservative. For a well-established pool, this is probably what you'd expect to see. The stake pool operator rewards percentage, so this is their margin. Stake pool operators can charge a percentage fee in addition to the minimum fixed cost, which is paid each epoch. This is of course adjustable. In order to remain competitive, I've seen stake pool operators typically charge less than 5% margin, 5% being on the high end, and of course 0% margin being on the low end. And then we've got stake pool performance. This doesn't really affect your rewards too much, but we can see that this does make a little bit of a difference. So it's optimal to have a 100% performance pool. Then we've got influence factor, which is the A0 parameter. Currently A0 is set to 0.3, essentially the influence that Pledge has on staking rewards. This is another parameter that is currently being debated by the community. The treasury rate, so 20% of rewards distributed each epoch go to the treasury. So this is something that is currently fixed at 20%. You can change this if you like, but seeing that the current mainnet parameter is set at 20%, we'll just keep that right where it is. And the expansion rate, so this is the amount of reserves released from the total supply into the circulating supply each epoch. Again, this is also something I'd like to leave the same. So you have quite a few parameters to go through there. This is definitely making a little bit more of a specific calculation as to what you can expect to earn. In this case, if we scroll through the chart, we've got an idea of what we can expect to earn each epoch, the total rewards, and something to keep in mind as well is that your ADA delegation compounds automatically. There's no need to redelegate your ADA each epoch, which is another great advantage of staking your ADA. You can simply delegate it to a pool and then set it and forget it. Just let those rewards keep on compounding for you over time. Just being sure to pay attention that the stake pool which you've delegated to is online and performing optimally. The other option that we see if we take a look at the official Cardano staking calculator is the option to run a stake pool. So let's go ahead and click on run a stake pool. Since we have discussed those advanced options, we'll keep that available to us here for running a stake pool. Let's say in this case, what's different is instead of the delegation amount, this would be our pledge amount. So this is the amount of ADA which we've put as skin in the game towards running our own pool successfully. We can keep that as 10,000. We can also see the stake pool daily fixed fee at 68 ADA. This is something that I would keep as is. Currently, the minimum fee is 340 ADA. So 68 times 5 gives us 340 ADA each epoch. The average transaction fees for epoch, you can play with this, but like I was talking about earlier, it depends on the number of transactions currently taking place each epoch. As the network grows over time, the more transactions take place, this number goes up. So because we are running our own pool in this case, let's say for instance, we're not able to delegate it to a really successful pool. Let's say we're just starting out. Maybe we're a stake pool that just has 5 million delegated. So we can go ahead and adjust this number as we so choose. Maybe it's not even 5 million, maybe it's 1 million. That's your goal if you're a stake pool operator. 1 million should get you a block each epoch. But let's say just for this video, as we're looking at this for example purposes, there we go. So this is 5 million in delegation, and then we'll keep the current K parameter, the total number of pools set where it is. Currently it's set at 500. And let's say we're an operator that's going to charge the margin fee of about 2.5%. That's what we're charging at Kaizen Stakepools. And I would say in terms of rewards being paid to our delegators have been pretty optimal. So this is definitely something that I would consider keeping as is. And then we've got stake pool performance set at 100%. Influence factor A0 is 0.3. A lot of these parameters you really don't have to change. There's only a select few which I would really suggest you tweak just a little bit, but most of these are currently set already by the protocol. Treasury rate, again, 20% of rewards distributed go to the treasury. Expansion, 0.3%, so reserves release each epoch. So a lot of these are just going to remain the same. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the rewards breakdown. On the chart, we see this is the amount which we would earn on our pledged ADA. So we had initially pledged 10,000 ADA to our own stake pool. This 95, 96 ADA, that is all being paid because of our pledged ADA. And below the chart, we can see we've got the running costs, the stake pool operation rewards, and the delegation rewards. So the running costs are going to reflect on that 340 ADA fixed fee. That's the minimum fee that the stake pool will earn each epoch for being online to mint blocks. The stake pool operation rewards, that is from the margin, that percentage fee that's being charged each epoch for being online. And then the delegation rewards, that is our pledged ADA, that 10,000 ADA that was earning rewards because it was delegated to our stake pool as well. So that's a bit more about how to look at the staking calculator for being a stake pool operator. And again, everybody, this is a rough estimation. Stake pool rewards will vary epoch to epoch. This is going to be more or less something that you can look at as a general guide to expect how much you can potentially earn by either delegating your ADA or by being a stake pool operator. So that is going to be it for this lesson today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Another great way to help support the creation of this content is to delegate to Kaizen stake pools. Join us for our next episode of the Cardano 101 course, where we'll learn more about native tokens on the Cardano blockchain. I'll see you there.